The opinions expressed on Goddess of the Nile Radio are expressions for informational and entertainment purposes only and are not intended as a diagnosis, treatment, or a substitute for professional advice. Please consult a professional for your specific needs or concerns. We encourage you to use the topics discussed to generate your own conversation within the community. Should you have any questions or concerns regarding the content of the show, please feel free to use the hashtag GNR or email lovenileradio@gmail.com.
Goddess of the Nile Radio would like to thank our social media sponsors, Dope Curves, Noah's Jungle Bunch, and Chelsea by Chance. Our anonymous sponsor for assisting in making this YouTube live possible. Our small business sponsors, Divine Chakras LLC and Haru Heads. Our artist sponsors, Tanisha Clark and Kenora Berry. Our spiritual supporters, Collective Conscious Minds, Yeshua's Lightworkers, Indigo 11, and Sacred Woman Indigo Circle. And a special thank you to our Patreon members and followers. And to the most important people that make this dream possible, you, our listeners. We are Goddess of the Nile Radio, and we do this for you.
You are now listening to Goddess of the Nile Radio.
It is your birthright to accept and receive the goodness of the world, the tools to create your destiny, the love and nourishment from others, a life of abundance, days filled with propositions, manifested success coming from places that serve you, manifested success poured into your life and the lives of others. You are guided and given the authority to receive the gifts of the universe, for these gifts have already been given to you long before your arrival here. Your faith in yourself makes it real and opens the doors for manifestation to rush in. Your consciousness is open to receive and to give. It is your birthright, and it is done now.
You are now listening to Goddess of the Nile Radio.
Through this mantra of manifestation, all things are possible. We proclaim absolutely that all of us are living in a friendly universe that is always providing for us. We have felt it happening, and we are feeling it happening now. We are open to receive more abundance than we have ever experienced before. We can afford and do anything that our heart desires. We need never to worry again. We are filled with an attitude of gratitude for what we already have and all that we are giving and ready to give. We keep ourselves lifted in high consciousness no matter what the appearances are. The universe is always providing in our favor. We are creators of our today and our tomorrow.
Reciting a mantra is an excellent way to start your day. Calm you down while you are upset and refocus your consciousness. For a copy of this mantra, please feel free to visit our Patreon account by searching for Goddess of the Nile Radio on patreon.com. It's your girl Azure Neteru Gaia, and I'm out. Peace. Grand rising world, grand rising, grand rising, grand rising earthlings. It's your girl, Azure Neteru Gaia, live right here on the WinDC radio app and YouTube channel. Grand rising, happy Sunday, happy glorious Sunday. It is absolutely beautiful here in the state of Maryland. I mean, the sun is out, the birds are tweeting, life is good, life is good, life is grand, and life is oh so good. You guys, I want to talk to you today because today is a very special day. Yesterday was my tribe's anniversary. So when I first entered like the whole waking up my third eye and, you know, really got into seeing dead people and stuff like that, I was searching for a group of people, of like-minded individuals that were also on their spiritual journey as well. And I give all thanks and gratitude to Azure Neteru Gaia or Neteru, Aset. I give all gratitude to Aset. I give all gratitude to Aset for sharing her story on YouTube and letting us know about this particular group of people, which is known as the Indigo 11 tribe. I talk a lot about the Indigo 11 tribe here on the show. That is my spiritual family. It's like we're 16,000 strong. It's a huge group. And when I tell you about support and love and encouragement and understanding, you know, a lot, especially in this area, especially in the state of Maryland. I don't really know what's going on in your neck of the woods, but a lot of people talk girl. A lot of people seem to put the focus on negativity. They want to put the focus on us, melanin people, you know, or people in general, not supporting one another. And I was invited to this space, this glorious divine space of like-minded individuals. I was invited there. And when I tell you I hit the spiritual ground running, I give all gratitude and happy Earth Arrival Day to my tribe members in Indigo 11. I love you guys. I can't believe that we have made it. So many of us have branched off into our own little individual groups, but we always seem to come back home and celebrate one another. We have Reiki masters now. We have people that are healing people through Kundalini. We have motivational speakers now. We have radio personalities. We have YouTubers. We have people that's making healing jewelry. I mean, it is a whole squad of healers. And we are reaching out and we are touching and we are grabbing and we are loving and sending positive energies and positive affirmations out there into the world. So happy birthday, Indigo 11 tribe. I dedicate this whole entire show to you guys. Thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you guys for loving me. Thank you guys for showing me that there's nothing wrong with being spiritual and there's nothing wrong with being gifted. I love you guys to pieces. And as for my listeners, thank you guys for being here today. Thank you guys for tuning in to the WinDC radio app. And thank you guys for watching me live on the YouTube channel. This is like an absolute dream come true. It really is. A long time ago, when I was a little girl, I always wanted to be in media. I was always out front in the backyard talking into a microphone and reading from the many pages that used to come in the Washington Post. That was my thing. So for me to be here and for me to be here with you guys and for you guys to be watching me or listening to me is absolutely a dream come true. And for me to be able to teach you guys about yourself and about how to heal yourself is also a dream come true. We are healers. We can actually heal ourselves. We are also teachers. We as women are the givers of life. We as women have to get our acts together. And once we get our acts together, then the rest of the world will follow, right? And our masculine energies, our males, our Miss Stars of the universe. We need you guys. We need your strength. We need you guys to actually jump outside of the box and begin to heal yourselves. We need partners. We can't do this alone. And it'll be a lot easier if we can all just do this together, right? Well, I'm wearing purple today, right? Notice my dress and my head wrap. I am wearing purple today because we are celebrating the 21 days Chakra Fast in my group, Yeshua's Lightworkers. And that's Lightworkers with two words, with Lightworkers, because, sometimes I just can't spell and I throw grammar completely out the window. It's all about being spiritual sometimes. It's like I'm decoding messages from ancestors and I'm decoding messages from spirit guides, and then you want me to speak the Queen's language when I'm not even really necessarily from here. So, yeah, Yeshua's light workers. And what's going on in my group is we are celebrating a 21-day fast, 21-day chakra fast. And what this chakra fast is that we wake up early in the morning and we have a chakra that we focus on for the day. So today is the crown chakra. And if you want to know all about chakras, you can go to the WinDC radio page on YouTube And you can search for Goddess of the Nile Radio, Let's Talk Chakras. Or, you know, if you don't want the visual and you want like a shorter version of that show, you can head on over to Goddess of the Nile Radio, and there's a shorter version of that show that's there for you. And you can learn all about chakras. So today we're focusing on the crown chakra. And that color is sort of like a violet color. So I don't really have violet in my wardrobe. There's a little violet in my head wrap. So basically, we learn about the chakra and we do meditation to the chakras. In honoring the chakras. We wear the colors. Some of us wear the colors. But it is a sunrise to sunset fast. So when the sun comes up, we're only allowed to consume water, soup, and smoothies. So anything that's in a liquid form. And it has to be outside of water, of course. But it has to be the color that represents the chakra for the day. So today I think I had like a blue machine because there aren't really many smoothies that's the color of violet. So that's the way like I kind of had it, how I kind of like made it work out for me. And once the sun goes down, you can break the fast with anything that you want. Some of us, like myself, we're sticking to the color scheme, and I make sure that I have that color incorporated in my meal. You know, so, and then when I wake up in the morning, it's all about that color. So like, for example, for breakfast, could have blueberries, and maybe some purple grapes with seeds, of course. So that is our 21-day chakra fast. And we are on day number 7. So we went a full week. So shout out to my Yeshua light workers and thank you guys for being a part of the chakra fast. The chakra fast is it's really like getting my life together. You know, just putting it just simple. It's really getting my life together. My frequencies are a lot clearer. My communications and able to hear messages from source is a lot clearer now. I'm having all types of visions, a lot of really, really good, juicy dreams. I'm motivated to like get things going and focus on my business. So fasting is good for the soul. Fasting is good to like get all the junk out, right? And replace the junk with something that's good, healthy, living foods. So, anywho, that's the 21-day chakra fast. Now, why are you guys here today? What is Azure going to be talking about today? Well, let's get into it. We are talking about the third eye, this bad boy right here. And we're going to talk about the dangers, right? Or the consequences or things that happen when you make the decision to open your third eye. A lot of us, especially like younger people, you know, a lot of younger people hear about this third eye phenomenon and how cool it is and how you can actually, like, when you open your third eye, you can manifest things and you can actually begin to be the creator of your own personal life, you know. So they jump past the root chakras and the sacral chakra and they jump past everything, all types of understanding. They just throw it out the window and they want to just put on some binaural beats and open that third eye up. Well, you gotta be really, really careful when you open the third eye, because if you walk around in life and you have your third eye open a little too early, you can go into what's called a spiritual depression. Yeah, it can happen. If you aren't taking the time to be the master of your craft or the master of your energy or the master of your understanding, then you can fall into a very deep and dangerous spiritual depression. You see, one thing about Azure Neteru Gaia is that I just don't throw information at you guys. You know, for those who follow me, I don't just throw information at you guys. I break it down to the most simplest of forms because I want you guys to be able to heal yourself. I want you guys to be able to energize yourself. I want you guys to be able to be creators of your own freaking destiny. And we're going to do that, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do that safely, in a very, very safe way. And you have to know what you're into, right? Because we are creators of our destiny. So thank you so much for coming here. Goddess of the Nile Radio. Hey guys, welcome back to Goddess of the Nile Radio, live right here on the WinDC radio app and YouTube channel. I want to give a special shout out to our artist sponsor, Tanisha Clark. Thank you for those 2 amazing songs, you guys. She is amazing. She's super gifted. So make sure you find her on Facebook and check her out and download her tunes on iTunes, I believe is where you can find it. All right. Welcome back. Hopefully your spaces are cleared. You're all good. You sent the kids into another room, or you got them like surrounded by your phone or your YouTube, whatever you're watching me on or listening to. Anyway, we are here to talk about the third eye, and I'm going to give you some reasons why you should keep your third eye closed. Okay. But before we get into the reasons, right? Because you know how Azure is. Azure has to break things down to you guys so you can understand exactly what you're getting into. Or when you hear, oh, third eye, his third eye must be closed, or her third eye must be open. When you hear these terms, like, what exactly does it mean? So, of course, before I begin to get into the teachings of the cautions of opening your third eye, I got to explain to you some spirituality terminology, right? You know me and my spelling words, right? So let's get into it. What in the world is the third eye? Uh-oh, got a cough. 1 second. Sorry. Woo, allergy season. Yes, God, honey. All right. What is the third eye? The pineal gland, also called the pineal body. You may hear some hip hoppers call it the cerebral, something like that. But as spiritual folk, we like to call the pineal gland the third eye. It is actually a small gland that produces melatonin. This is a hormone that influences the way that you sleep. So sometimes if you have problems with sleeping, your doctor may prescribe you with like melatonin, or I know some people take melatonin shots. You guys can research what melatonin is if you want. But the third eye, it is located near the center of the brain between 2 hemispheres. And it's tucked away in a groove where the two rounded bodies join, right? So you'll find it tucked away. Unlike much of the rest of the brain, the pineal gland is not isolated from the body by the blood-brain barrier system. It is reddish gray and about the size of a pea. So to me, some people say it reminds them of a pea. For me, it reminds me of like a kidney bean, but it's like smaller than a kidney bean. And it sits like in a really cool, I wish I could show you guys like the inside of my brain right now. But if you if you can do 2 things at one time, Google pineal gland or Google third eye so you can get a visual of what exactly it looks like, okay? Our ancestors believed this area in the middle of the brain is the connecting link between the physical and spiritual worlds. I love reading about this, especially when it comes to ancient Egypt culture. And if you really want to blow your mind with research, study the pineal gland's connection to the Moors. So if you're into Moor studies, someone's trying to call. Excuse me, guys. Tislam, you might want to mute that. Anyhow, I'm sorry, guys, about that. We are taking calls today, but we're not going to take them until later on. Okay? So, anywho, where was I? All right. So, if you really want to blow your mind about the third eye and what our ancestors believed when it came to the third eye, you will want to research like the Moors and like how they used the third eye. Our ancestors considered this gland to be the most powerful and highest source of ethereal energy available to humans. The pineal gland has always been important in initiating supernatural powers. That's why everyone's out here trying to open it, you know. They developed as psychic talents. The development of psychic talents has been closely associated with this organ of higher vision. Okay. So like for me, when I began to open my third eye, it wasn't even done on purpose. It kind of just flew open on its own. And I believe that the reason why it flew open on its own is because it was blocked. Like it was always kind of open ever since I was a little girl, because I always had these amazing psychic abilities. And as I got older, I began to drink alcohol and consume alcohol. And what the alcohol was doing was it was like stuffing poison into my pineal gland, and it wasn't operating. So as soon as I removed the alcohol from my life and from my diet, the junk began to remove itself from my pineal gland, and I began to see shadows. It was shadows first. The second thing that I began to experience was lucid dreams. Another thing I began to experience was this feeling like I didn't want to be at work anymore. So all of these things were happening, but my psychic abilities were like turned all the way up. I remember one night I was sitting outside in my backyard, and I actually, so where my old house was, it used to be like a housing center, or like a housing neighborhood, I guess, for the military. So just imagine what kind of energy is going on in that community, right? So one night I was sitting outside, and my house was right near the woods, and I literally saw like silver flashes that looked sort of like like Ghostbusters, like Slimer, but more so like Pac-Man. Like that's the way it looked, and it was like shooting out of the woods, and I thought I was crazy. And I said, oh my God, all of this is happening because I stopped drinking? Like, what in the world is wrong with me? And then come to find out, I did my research, and other people were experiencing the very same thing. So nothing was wrong with me. It's just that I had my third eye blocked full of poison, and now the poison was gone. My psychic abilities were returning back to me, back to my original state. And if you want to hear more about my story, about my awakening story, you can feel free to search for Following Your Spiritual Path Part 4 on the WinDC Radio app. On the WinDC Radio YouTube channel. And if you want a shorter version, you could just search for Goddess of the Nile Radio, and it's there. Following Your Spiritual Path Part 4. Okay? So, the third eye controls the various biorhythms of the body. It works in harmony with the hypothalamus gland, I know I probably butchered that, which directs the body's thirst, hunger, libido, and the biological clock that determines our aging process. When it awakens, one feels a pressure at the base of the brain. Okay? And I'm telling you guys, even right now, as I'm sharing this information, with you today, my third eye is like, I have what's called third eye pressure. So it feels literally like someone is like taking their two fingers and like pushing on the center of like your forehead. And that's what it feels like. And sometimes it can be really, really painful. It feels like a sinus headache almost, like a heavy, stuffy, congestion sinus headache for some people. Well, that's when it's really, really opening. I remember one time it was hurting so bad that like I was in tears. It was hurting real, real bad. And I believe during that time, that's when we had that eclipse that was going on in the fall of 2017. So there's huge pressure that you'll begin to feel, A lot of times you'll see people, and for my YouTubers, a lot of times you'll see people take a stone and they'll place it on the center, and that just grounds them or calms them down, and then centers them and gets them headed and get their thoughts headed in the right direction. That actually felt really good. I highly suggest that if you are receiving some pressure of the third eye. Okay. The pineal gland's location is deep in the brain. It seems to initiate hidden importance. In the days before its function as a physical eye that could see beyond space-time was discovered, it was considered a mystery linked to superstition and mysticism. So a lot of people, especially like in religion or like the government, those people. But a lot of people try to say, oh, when the Egyptians believed in the third eye, like it was a bunch of bull. Like, oh, it's just like a fairy tale that they made up, And then they came to believe that like this is a real thing, And when they really became to believe in the third eye, they actually like stamped it by making a part of our chakra systems, a part of that very popular 7 chakras that runs up and down our spine. And the third eye is actually like It's right here. It's one of the chakras that Yeshua's light workers had worked on last week. So the pineal glands, activating your third eye is about focusing your consciousness and trusting what you see. You do it all the time and may not be aware of the difference between your thoughts and those from higher frequency. And I go through this sometimes. I mean, now that my third eye is open, I go through this all the time. Sometimes I feel, as we say here in Maryland, sometimes I feel like I'm lunching. And sometimes I feel like, okay, I'm obviously having like a supernatural experience. One example of that I can give you, because you guys, you know, I love to tell you stories. So one example I can give you guys is one day I was having a conversation with my boss, and my third eye, guys, is open, and his face literally transformed into, he's a Caucasian, and his face literally transformed into like a pirate. Like literally, like it was like, rah, you know, like one of his eyebrows like went up and like his head turned like real weird. And I blinked really, really hard, and I was like, oh my God, am I really experiencing this here in the office? Like, it freaked me out, but at the same time, I didn't want to like freak out in front of him, so I had to remain grounded in that moment. So that's one of the situations that happens. Another situation that happens a lot with my third eye being open is I actually am having like conversations with people in my head, or I'm having conversations with them in my dreams. And I'm seriously like carrying on my life like we already had this conversation. And there's a couple of times at work where I either, you know, thought I sent an email or thought I gave someone a document, and we had like this whole situation occur over a project. And then the person contacts me and they're like, okay, like, Azure, are you going to send me the project? I'm like, I already did. We already talked about this. And they're like, no, you didn't. And I check my sent box and nothing's there. And they're checking their boxes and I'm checking my drafts, and I'm like, wait a minute, we didn't have this conversation? And they're like, no. And then once we have the conversation, it's like the conversation that I guess I dreamt of, it's actually happening. It's the weirdest thing ever. Anyway, I'm going to let that information swirl around your brains because my DJ, Big Tiz, is ready to give you guys another break. So we have some music going on. So go ahead and let that information sink in, and we're going to be right back with the dangers of opening your third eye. You know, so we're talking about the third eye today. I'm Azure Neteru Gaia, live right here on the WinDC radio app and YouTube channel. I'll see you guys soon. Peace. Hey guys, welcome back to Goddess of the Nile Radio. It's your girl Azure Neteru Gaia, live right here on the WinDC radio app and YouTube channel. Today we are talking about the third eye and 10 reasons why you probably should keep that bad boy shut. And I broke down to you guys earlier in the first half like what a third eye is, but one thing I have to ask you guys, have you ever heard of the all-seeing eye? Hey, DJ Tiz, have you ever heard of the all-seeing eye? No, ma'am, he says. Shout out to DJ Tiz for that mix. You guys, you heard a little bit of Black Alley and some other artists, listen to me, some other artists. So let's see, we had Black Alley, we had Antoine Haywood, and Queen, okay, he says no. But we had Black Alley. All right, let me focus on the lesson of the day. I was partying during the break. I need to get focused. Let me put this blue tumblestone on my third eye and get myself together, right? Settle me right on down and transmit this message over to you guys, okay? So, Tizom's never heard of the all-seeing eye, and you probably haven't either. And for those who have, this is a refresher. So the all-seeing eye, the eye of providence, is also known as the all-seeing eye of God, right? It's a symbol showing an eye often surrounded by rays of light or glory and usually enclosed by a triangle. It is sometimes interpreted as representing the eye of God watching over humankind or divine providence. And you can see this eye freaking anywhere. Like, for example, you got a dollar bill on you? The U.S. dollar bill. It's surrounded by some words that are creepy, but you can do your research. The all-seeing eye is a symbol of Freemasonry. It represents the great architect of the universe. Research the crop circle located in Beacon Hill, Hampshire. I always say Hampshire, United Kingdom. So you can see the all-seeing eye on the dollar bill. You can see it when it comes to the Masons. And then there's like this really weird crop circle located in the United Kingdom. So do your research there. You can see the eye, you can see the eye in Mexico. So research the deer eye, okay? And they also call Buddha the eye of the world, okay? And my favorite eye of all times, I wish I had a drum roll, but my favorite eye of all times, you guys know what it is? Yep, you guessed it. It's the eye of Horus. I love the eye of Horus. If you guys go to any of the Goddess of the Nile pages, you're going to see a lot of the eye of Horus. If you go to my Instagram account, Divine Azure, you're going to see the eye of Horus like all over my page. I love the eye of Horus. So that's all about like the all-seeing eye, right? So we talked about what the third eye is. And the third eye is actually the pineal gland located in your brain. And we talked about how we're seeing like symbolisms of the eye, like all over the place, right? So now we're going to talk about the dimension that we live in. Sometimes you hear a lot of spiritual folks talk about dimensions. And I believe, EYE, I believe that we are currently living in a 3D dimension. So we're currently living in the third dimension. And you guys can do research on your own and come up with your own understanding if you like. But dimensions are a little tricky to explain without presenting to you guys visuals. So when the show is over, please feel free to do your research on dimensions. The third eye is a gateway to spirituality, to opening the spiritual realm. So it's a gateway of opening like dimensions, higher level of dimensions, even some lower level dimensions if you're into that, but I'm not. Opening your third eye, you begin to see things, you begin to experience things, and you begin to feel things around you. There are entities around you, but when you have awakened your third eye, you have a connection and can see them, right? Remember I was telling you the story about the shadow people or my boss? There are entities in the fourth dimension that we cannot see presently in the third dimension. But once the pineal gland is awakened, your consciousness surpasses the barriers of the physical realm and goes beyond it. So now you're like one of the X-Men, like you're super cool. You're a part of Marvel Comics. Like you're awesome, right? So religious people call these entities demons, right? Just because I feel if we all didn't live in this fear zone, there would be no way to control us. So the religious people are calling these dimensions and the spirits that we see like demons and stuff like that. But like in Azure's world, I believe that the only reason why they're like doing that and freaking us out about demons and all that stuff is, so they can control us. Because if we all knew we can heal ourselves, if we all knew we could see dead people, if we all knew that we could have a higher level of consciousness, there wouldn't be many churches. Or the churches that are like around, these religious institutions that are around are like actually helping the people. And there are some religious institutions that do help the people. Not all of them are bad, just some of them. Okay? Some in the spiritual community believe that this fear of the spiritual world is used to control the masses. So, if you're interested in that, check out our episode of Following Your Spiritual Path, Part 1. We get into that, okay? Now, some people ask, are these entities that I'm seeing, are these entities that I'm going to see when my eye is open, are they harmful? That's a very good question. What you really encounter in the spiritual realm are not entities. What you see are the many and different aspects of yourself. Isn't that interesting? So like, for example, I remember my son Princeton came to me the other day and he had a dream about this great big large giant that was like stomping through the town and trying to like murder everyone, you know, and what he was seeing wasn't actually like an entity. It wasn't like a devil. It wasn't like anything. It was actually like the aspect of himself when he's like, you know, walking around the house trying to like bully everybody to giving him like extra cookies or something, you know. So it's actually like the entities that you see is actually a version of yourself. I know that sounds a little confusing, but it actually is. And you can research that, okay? Some of the aspects of yourself. So let me explain that further because it feels like I'm not explaining that well. When I say aspects of yourself, I don't think I'm explaining that properly. Like what I believe and what Azure believes is the entities that you're seeing, you're able to see these entities because they are a reflection of you. So you know how a lot of people say, well, your vibe attracts your tribe, or birds of a feather flock together. So if you are a very low vibrational person and you're just walking around earth like, I hate this and I hate that and you suck, you know, what you're going to end up attracting if your third eye is open is like an entity that's like, I hate this, you suck, you know? But if your third eye is open and you're living in a loving, high vibrational place, right? Where I love to be up on my lavender cloud. I attract entities that are love, that are light, that are helpers, you know? So I hope that makes sense. Your vibe attracts your tribe here on earth in the physical realm, and it's also attracting your tribe in other dimensions too. Okay? Let's see. I lost my spot. Oh, I got 5 minutes. Okay, thanks, Tiz. Okay. So, when you open your third eye, there is a 100% or a 95% or 85% chance that you are going to hear that lost part of your personality that has long awaited for your attention. Are you having day-to-day itches, not knowing what it could be? These are the things we neglect and leave behind thinking they will go by without our intervention. So an example of that would be, did someone hurt you on the playground when you were 7 years old? And that person looked a certain kind of way, or it was something about that person that always like sticks in your brain. And when you were 7 years old on that playground, this person constantly bullied you. Every single day, it was just complete torture. Now you're 27 years old, and for some reason, you don't like people that have red hair. You don't like them. You don't know why, but you don't like them. The 7-year-old version of you has not healed from that. So while you're going through life, and while you're going through life and you're going through your trials and your tribulations and your ups and your downs, you know, for some reason, it's something about people with red hair that bothers you. Or it could be something about people in authority that bothers you. Maybe there was a mean cop that you met when you were a kid or when you were a teenager, you know, but you haven't looked past this. And it's constantly bothering you and it's haunting you. When you see someone with red hair, when you see an official on the news or on a movie, you're instantly bothered. That is the part of you that is looking for the attention from you. It's looking to be healed, you know. And sometimes these are the things that show up in our dreams. When we have those reoccurring dreams and it's the same like monster, like for me, it was King Kong. But when we have these dreams and we're seeing like these situations and it's almost like the same situations but different scenario, hope that makes sense, or different characters, you know, it's a part of us that we need to heal, that we need to pay attention to. Okay? So, I'm sorry, I lost my place. Okay, my bad. All right. So when you solve these issues, of the things of your past hurts, you will begin to raise your vibrations, right? And you will be able to enrich your life with better experiences. Your intuition will begin to develop. So you will begin to trust yourself. And you are able to pick up what is true and what is false. You'll be able to pick up on who is good for you and who is bad for you. Like, you'll be able to make better decisions, much better decisions. So if you're not ready to make much better decisions when your eye is open, then you probably shouldn't open it. If you aren't ready to confront the hurts and the pains that you have gone through, during your lifetime, then you probably should keep your third eye shut if you're not ready to deal with this stuff. Because as soon as you open your third eye, I'm telling you, your stuff is going to be out in the open for you to deal with. All of these character defects are going to come to life. They're going to come to the surface, and you have to deal with them in your own way. So I'm going to allow for you to wrap that piece of the third eye around your brain, and we're going to get into the dangers, right? What you've been waiting for, the dangers of opening your third eye. I'm Azure Neteru Gaia, live right here on the WinDC Radio app and YouTube channel. Thanks for listening. We'll be right back after this music break. Hey guys, welcome back to Goddess of the Nile Radio, live right here on the WinDC Radio app and YouTube channel. I am out of breath. I just ran down the hallway to go to the bathroom. That is one thing about this 21-day fast is you're drinking a lot of water and consuming a lot of liquid. So, excuse me if I'm a little, breathy. Welcome back, guys. Today we are talking about the third eye, right? And we're talking about 10 reasons why you probably should keep that sucker shut, right? So, let's get into it, right? How can we lessen the dangers of opening our third eye? Okay. So on my path, I learned that ignorance makes us suffer because it is a lack of awareness. I'm going to say that again. Ignorance makes us suffer because it is a lack of awareness. All right. When one is not ready to face the unknown, there will be personal consequences. I'm going to repeat that too. It feels like someone in the nosebleeds needs to hear me today. All right. When one is not ready to face the unknown, there will be personal consequences. And the right way to proceed with stimulating your third eye is by getting the proper education. That's why you guys are here today. Thank you for joining me. You have to read information. You have to constantly be studying your craft. Knowing everything you need on the subject of the third eye and having the feeling of being ready is when you should attempt to open it. Okay? Learn about spirituality first before you even make the attempt of opening your third eye. That is so important. So on the question I got from someone in the group, is it bad to open your third eye, Azure? The truth of the matter is, no, it's not bad. There are many books that you can purchase, and there's many YouTube videos, and there's tons and tons of information on the matter, So my advice to you all is when you're opening your third eye, take this very serious and enlighten yourself as much as possible before jumping into it. Because being prepared to face the unknown like a warrior before a battle, chances are the situation will go in your favor. Okay? So you all can feel free to share with me, if you like, your third eye experiences, because hopefully we'll have some time at the end of today's show to take calls. Okay? One way that I opened my third eye was with the 528 megahertz. That's how I opened it. The 528 megahertz is a gateway to a higher level of consciousness and knowledge. And it's also called, the seed of the soul by our ancestors. So our third eye is called the seed of the soul by our ancestors. And the 528 megahertz, it activates this. So if you're like me and you listen to YouTube while you're going to sleep, be very, very cautious about that autoplay. Because one night I had the autoplay going and the 528 megahertz came on and like I ascended. Like I literally had an out of body experience. It was a great experience, but in my mind, I really felt like I wasn't ready yet. So it kind of creeped me out a little bit, but it was a great experience. For our listeners who are part of the Yeshua's Lightworkers or anyone that may be doing a fast, doing that, it sometimes causes third eye pressure, you know? So if you're fasting and you're getting the junk up and you're replacing it with a lot of water, you're drinking a lot of water, you're meditating a lot, a fast can definitely activate your third eye. And if you're having a third eye and you're removing the meats from your diet, you may begin to feel like a little pressure in the center of your forehead. You shouldn't open your third eye if you are currently enjoying your current life. If you love your life, you may not want to open it. Stay away from opening your third eye if you're loving your life, because you will begin to see the world differently and you will begin to activate your spiritual gifts. So when you open your third eye and you're currently enjoying your life and you feel like you're on top of the world and you like rule everyone, you know, when you look in the mirror, when your third eye is open, you may actually see your insides on the outside as far as like how you treat people. Okay. We are currently seeing only less than 1% of what is really going on in the world. And we're hearing even less than that. So if you are ready to if you ever watched that movie Lucy, if you aren't ready to be like Lucy, you better keep your third eye shut. If you are not ready to leave your day job, right? Don't quit your day job. If you aren't ready to leave your day job and you are comfortable with your job title and your money, when your third eye is open, you're going to have this grand feeling of wanting to do something else. Like, why am I here? Why am I on Wall Street? Why am I here? You're going to have that feeling. You are going to begin to really see your worth and your talents, and you will be exposed to your life purpose. You will be obsessed with manifesting the life of your dreams. So if you're comfortable working on Wall Street, if you're comfortable being a loan shark, if you're comfortable working for Donald Trump, you know what I mean? And you like your paycheck and you don't care what you're doing to the people and you don't care who you're hurting. You're really comfortable, but you open your third eye and all of a sudden you want to be a painter. All of a sudden you want to heal young children who have been abused through painting. And that's all that you can think about. That's the life that you want to create for yourself. You want to give it all up. You want to give away the house. You want to sell the house. You want to sell the cars. You want to sell everything because all you want to do is help little kids learn how to paint and heal from painting. So if you're not ready to leave your job, then you probably should keep your third eye shut. Keep it shut. If you love the way you eat, and I am talking to my curry out people right now. I am talking to you guys. I'm talking to my people that love their ribs. I'm talking to people out there who love their steaks. If you love the way you eat, bacon, meat, cancerous foods, junk food, those fiery Cheetos you love so much. Shout out to DJ Tislam. Your third eye will literally begin to dictate what you put in your body. You will begin to eat to live and not just eat because it's there. I know a lot of parents out there are probably thinking, maybe I should have little Jimmy open his third eye so he can stop eating up all the food, right? So if you love the way you eat and you love your animals and you love junk food, then you want to keep your third eye shut because you will literally you'll be able to smell food, for what it really, really smells like. You know, it'll like a dead carcass that's been cooked is exactly what it'll smell like. It won't smell like a steak. It'll smell like a dead carcass that's being cooked. You know, like chitlins will really begin to smell like intestines that poop passes through. You know, so if you enjoy your chitlins and you enjoying your steak and your dead carcass and put some A1 sauce on your dead carcass and that's the way you want to live, Keep your third eye shut. Yes, God. Keep it shut, honey. You will begin to become compassionate for animals, bugs, and people. You will begin to realize that all life is sacred and valuable. So if you just want to run over the squirrel because the squirrel is crossing the street and he's in your way, because you have to get to that job you love so much and that paycheck, you're so much in a hurry. You can't stop for the swans and you can't stop for the squirrel. Or, you know, you see someone on the street and they look like they're so hungry, and you have a huge bag of McDonald's. If you're not ready to give up your food, if you're not ready to give up your life, if you're not ready to give things, if you're not ready to care about people, then you probably should keep your third eye shut. You know, maybe having your third eye open and having compassion isn't for you, you know? You will begin to change what you watch, what you listen to, and what you read. You will begin to question everything that you are watching and see everything differently. You will begin to see that what you are engaging in is all a huge illusion. It's fake. You will realize that the media, except for WinDC radio, of course, but you will begin to realize that the media is deceptive, and you will begin to judge well what you are taking into your body. You will begin to notice the programming and subliminal messages in everything. If you're comfortable with your shows like Power and The Real Housewives of Atlanta and what's the tattoo show? Black Ink Crew. Like, if you're into all of that and keeping up with the Kardashians and stuff like that, you're really into these reality shows and you're really into these ratchet shows and maybe even watching the news, you may want to keep your third eye shut, you know, because the Joneses, they're watching these shows and, you know, you want to be able to have some conversation around the water cooler. So just so you can be a part of the Joneses and be a part of this conversation around the water cooler, you know, you're going to expose yourself. You're going to expose your mind and your brain to this programming. You know what I mean? So if the water cooler is more important than your understanding and your knowledge of self, then keep your third eye shut. Real talk. Keep it shut. If you feel like you know everything, oh my goodness, if you are Mr. or Mrs. Know-it-all, you will quickly discover, when your third eye opens up, you will quickly discover that there is so much more out there to learn. So if you're like one of these people that has like 8 million degrees and you're just, oh, I am just so smart. I went to Harvard. I'm so smart. You know, if you're one of those people or just a know-it-all, right? Opening your third eye will enlighten you. You will question what you have been told to believe. You will question your degrees. You will question your studies. You will question your professors. You will question your teachers. You will question everything. And you will constantly be hungry for new information, but just not any old kind of fly-by-night information. You will begin to be hungry and crave the truth. That's real right there. And if you're not ready for the truth, you can't handle the truth, you better keep your third eye shut. I'm just saying, it's dangerous. It gets real. When you find out that your 20 degrees don't mean a hill of beans to Ray down the street that's like tapping into his own DNA to get the information. Okay? If you like being separate from people, if you feel you are privileged or more special than any other human beings, there are so many other life forms that exist when your third eye is open, and you'll begin to see them. There is no real race. And this is something I even struggle with having my third eye open, but there is no real race. When you are living amongst other beings and your third eye is open and you're beginning to see, you know, spaceships and aliens and all kinds of stuff. You know, the only thing that you can see and feel and care about is energy, good energy. And those are the only people that you care about. Now, I talk a lot about my melanin people because they're important to me. But if someone needed help down the road, and needed a glass of water, or their car was on fire, or they needed something from me, and they're a human being, or they're whatever. If someone needs me, I don't see race. I don't see me being better than them. I'm going to help them. That's the benefits or the dangers of having your third eye open, is because you're no longer on this pedestal. Your status doesn't matter anymore. Your bank account doesn't matter anymore. You're no better than the next man next to you. If you care about your status, then you might want to keep that third eye shut. Okay? So those were tons of reasons of why you should keep your third eye shut. Why you should keep it shut. Why you should shut it down if you don't want to open it. And I hope by the end of today's lesson, like, you guys learn that the third eye actually is a nice thing to have open. It unlocks your consciousness, and it unlocks your compassion for the universe. It gives you the ability to not only heal yourself and teach yourself, but to heal and teach others. It gives you the ability to form bridges. It gives you the ability to create peace within yourself and within the lives and the people that are around you. So that's opening your third eye. I'm going to ask for my DJ to do something unconventional, and that's like to play one quick song so I can reset my brain. And we'll be right back, and we'll follow up. And hopefully we can accept some calls. All right? Thanks for listening. Hey guys, welcome back to Goddess of the Nile Radio, live right here on the WinDC radio app and YouTube channel. It's your girl Azure Neteru Gaia, and today we are talking about the third eye and the 10 reasons why you should probably keep your third eye shut. Well, the phone line is open, so if you guys want to call in and talk to me, the phone number is 202-394-4290. That's 202-394-4290. We can talk about opening your third eye. You can share with me your third eye experiences, or we can talk about whatever's on your heart today. So that's the number. So call in. I'm waiting for you. I wanted to share something with you guys today about adversity and how spirituality has definitely helped me as a recovering alcoholic. You know, I break my anonymity with you guys because I want you to know that, like, real stuff happens to real people. And I'm never like ashamed to, I'm sorry, my DJ's up and about, but I'm never ashamed to talk about real life experiences and, you know, the things that I go through. So the past 2 weeks have been very interesting for me. It's been very, very interesting for me, and having my third eye opened, and, you know, spirituality and the radio show and things going on at work. And, you know, we map out our lives and we map out our dreams, and we think that everything is going to be smooth sailing. And usually there's some type of hiccup that goes along, you know, in the road. And I just wanted to share with you guys that, like, no matter what happens, like, really take time to listen to the mantra that's played in the beginning of the show. Really have time and take the time. Oh, I'm sorry. My son wants me to put okay. He's giving me instructions on how to take phone calls. He's like the best producer ever. Thank you, son. But, I want you guys to really take time to listen to the manifestation mantra, because the manifestation mantra, it says something in it that really resonates with me, which is, no matter what the appearances are, the universe is always providing in your favor. And I just want to sit that right there. And I want to talk about that today, because a lot of us, we weren't born with the silver spoons in our mouths, or we were, and our parents, like, they, you know, we're grown now. So, you know, we got to make our own way and find our own way. And life is so confusing, no matter like how old you are. Life is so confusing. You spend you know, your baby years and your elementary school years and your high school years, learning all of this information, and then you have this awakening and you discover that everything that you were learning is in facts. And then you have to like maneuver your way around what is truthful and what's a lie and all this stuff. And it's just, so much stuff. And then you're trying to create this life for yourself. And you feel like because you're meditating every day, because you're into spirituality, because you're celebrating full moon rituals, or because you're wearing a certain kind of crystal, that you are protected from adversity, and you're not. You're not. Those things are tools. Those things are tools to surviving during this life experience. And I'm going to say that again for you guys, because I feel like someone out there is in a nosebleed seat and they're not hearing me. Those are all tools to assist you in surviving in this human experience. You are going to go through your adversity. You are going to go through your trials and your tribulations. But I'm here to tell you, like, no matter what, like, don't give up. No matter what. No, I'm not going to cry. My sons are going to be like, are you going to cry? I'm not going to cry. But I'm talking to someone out there today that's actually hurting, and they're in a whole lot of pain, because I can feel it. I don't want you to give up on yourself. I don't want you to feel like you're a failure, because you're not. You're nobody's failure. Okay? Before it gets really confusing, because we actually make these situations happen in our lives to teach us a lesson. So sit your hind parts down somewhere and think about what the lesson is that you're being taught right now. Think about that lesson that you're being taught. Are you stomping around with pain and inflicting your pain and your hurt on others? Are you walking around with sorrow and mourning because you just won't let that loved one go? Are you not living your best life because someone told you to be a doctor one day, when you'd rather be strumming your guitar in front of an audience of thousands of people? Or are you still like trying to figure it out? You feel like partying and turning up is the way of life, when you should really be studying the books of the world and the universe, because you're really supposed to be a teacher of the masses. Not a controlling one, but a healing one. You have to learn how to heal yourself. You have to stop blaming yourself. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't. And if you did, it's time for you to forgive yourself. It's time for you to let those things go. Because guilt and pain and grief, it doesn't do anything for you but age you, make you look bad, and it makes your life suck. You have the ability, you have the choice to let that stuff go. You can let it go. You can live a stronger and better and peaceful life. It is here for you. You are not meant to be here on earth suffering. You're not. You are here on earth to help mankind. You are here on earth to help Source, to help God, to help Allah, to help the God of your understanding. That's why you are here. Heal yourself. Let that stuff go. You're not a failure. You didn't let anyone down. You are what matters to yourself. You come first. That's right. I said it. You come first. I know some people are like, oh, it's God and it's the kids and then it's... No, baby. It has to be you. You got to get yourself right so you can be able to hear the messages of the universe. You got to be able to get yourself right so you can be able to help your kids. So you can be able to help your mom and your dad and your sister and your brother and your auntie and your uncle. You got to get yourself together first. Everything is not someone peeing in your daggone cornflakes. Okay? And sometimes someone's going to come along and they're going to pee in your damn cornflakes. You shouldn't be eating cereal anyway, but that's a whole nother subject. But sometimes someone's going to pee in your cornflakes. It's going to rain on your parade, and the soles of your shoes are going to come off. And you know what you do? You toss the cereal to the side and you grab your handful of strawberries. You dance in the rain, and you're thankful for the rain, because when the cloud fills up and the rain pours down, those are nothing but your blessings. But if you're moping through the rain, you're missing them. You're missing them. And when the soles of your shoes begin to come off, take your shoes off and walk and run through the grass and feel Mother Earth underneath you. You got to start being thankful. You got to start counting your blessings. Because when you have a breath in your body, that means that you have an opportunity to get it right. That means that you have an opportunity to be someone's light in their darkness. It doesn't matter what you are going through, how big or how small. You are going through it for the sole purpose so that you can be able to help 20 and 50 others. You feel me, guys? So it's important that you learn about your third eye. It's important that you learn about yourself, that you learn about your culture, that you begin to not mourn the people who have passed. I mean, it's okay to mourn them for a little bit, but you know what? It's time for you to set up pictures in your house or in your space. It's time for you to acknowledge them. When you get your food, a plate of food in front of you, it's time for you to thank your ancestors for helping you get that plate of food in front of you. It's time for you to begin to connect to yourself. Okay? I hope you guys have had a wonderful time here on the Nile. I know it was tons of information, but you can always feel free to catch the replay in the long version with all of the cool conscious music that DJ Tiz puts together for us here on the Nile. You can always feel free to catch that on the WinDC Radio YouTube channel. And if you want a shorter version, because you have a short attention span like me, and you want a shorter version of today's show, you can head on down to Goddess of the Nile Radio's YouTube channel, and there'll be a shorter version for you there. Please, you guys, I ask of you to kindly head down. Another place for you guys to go is to the Goddess of the Nile Patreon account. You see, I have this wild dream, this vision of a healing center. A healing center that offers transitional housing, a center that offers a place where people can go and take spiritual baths, a healing center where people can have their herbs and learn about herbs and self-healing, a beautiful garden for people to play around in, spoken word poetry and performances, a cafe where you don't have to worry about someone putting poison in your food, a place where like-minded individuals can come together and love each other. Don't you want to be a part of that? If so, I kindly ask for you to go to patreon.com and search for Goddess of the Nile Radio. I am your host today, Azure Neteru Gaia. And I'm live right here on the WinDC Radio app and YouTube channel each and every Sunday from 11 o'clock a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. USA for my international people. Meet me here next week. It's been a wonderful time on the Nile. Enjoy your week. Do something random. 3 acts of kindness for the people in your universe. Touch someone today. Forgive yourself today. Love yourself each and every day. That's all I got, guys. Hope you enjoyed your ride. See you next week. I'm out. Peace.